Cheaters of Reddit, just one question. Why cheat when you could have just left? Therapist here. I'll tell you all the reasons I hear about in therapy for cheating and infidelity. No judgment right or wrong on my end, just the reasons given. I'm miserable, but if I leave I can't support myself, my kids, so I'm going to try and find happiness in brief moments with someone else. I love him, her, but I'm not getting my sexual needs met. I love being with the person, but they're not open to exploring other sexual acts, or they don't please me sexually, and I feel trapped. We're both unhappy, but we can't afford to leave one another. So we're both cheating without talking about it. My partner doesn't care about my emotional needs. And I'm getting those needs met through others. The sex is a byproduct of a better emotional connection. I'm expected to stay with my husband, wife, because that's what you do when you're married. My parents never divorced, and neither should I. My partner has severe mental health issues. But I can't leave them, but I don't love them anymore. So cheating helps me not feel so alone. Some people cheat because they're confused, overwhelmed, and make a bad decision. I'm divorced. We had 2 children. My ex-wife was terrified to just leave. How do you leave your husband? Tell your family. Abandoned your family. So she cheated. Not remotely okay, but I understand. She was in a corner and scared of a decision that would be the rest of her life. She's human. She's also an idiot, tbh. But she's human. People think it's a black and white decision. But sometimes people break and fuck up. But there are consequences, and I believe we must have those. In an argument, my husband told me he wasn't in love with me and never had been. That he knew it at our wedding. It was the most painful thing I've ever had to hear. We'd been married a year. I decided to stay because I loved him anyway. And hoped he would change. I ended up giving him an ultimatum to go to therapy or end the marriage. And then I met someone who thought I was amazing and beautiful. Who treated me like he loved me. But I didn't want to break up the family. It was stupid and I regret it. I've looked into this for some years now. Back in Africa, so many would rather cheat than divorce due to religious constraints. Social stigma attached to being divorced. Financial implications, security, and especially because of children. Men are also given a pass for adultery in most part of Africa. I asked this once of a friend who was cheating on her husband. Lover was also married, but wouldn't leave him despite claiming to be miserable. Because then who would take care of her? If she left, she'd need either a job or a sugar daddy. Neither seemed likely. I was young and immature. Only cared about my immediate happiness and survival of my ego. Feeding my ego. Looking back, there was no excuse, should have left and not added to someone's mental trauma. I guess karma was there eventually, as my last partner was a toxic, abusive piece of shit. Edit. Validation is what I was also after. What did you always imagine the health potion in a video game would taste like? For some reason, after 15 years of playing video games, this is the first time I think about it. The ones in Phoenix Rising are made from pomegranates. That would be rad. That medicine, the label says, is fruit flavored but tastes like you licked a sweaty mossy log. Strawberries. Red Powerade. It's syrupy and tastes like freshness and fulfillment. You are allowed to replace any substance with mayo. What do you pick to cause the most chaos? Silicon. Circuit boards become mayo. All data is lost. Man reverts to a sandwich-based economy. Replacing vanilla icing with mayo is my method of destruction. Gasoline. The cherries, inside chocolate-covered cherries. H_edrogen. Mine would be soap. Specifically body wash and dispensers at public places. What topics make you go, "You shut up"? My neighbor will not speak to me unless he is explaining the history of the state of Louisiana in its entirety. YouTuber drama and social media influencers in general. Social media influencers. When people trash talk people and act like they're being reasonable. When my students start rambling about whatever half-baked, crackpot half-truths of history that they got from FB, Twitter, whatever, that they believe is the gospel truth. Celebrity BS. It's weird people care what complete strangers are doing with their life when they couldn't care less of yours and who you personally are. Stalkerish behavior. Emo. What movie do you never mind watching? Last Crusade. Watched it last night too. Love that shit. I say this unironically. Kung Fu Panda. Emperor's New Groove. Can't help it, I'm clearly a child and I laugh like an idiot every time. Galaxy Quest, the best Star Trek movie made. Office Space. There are tons of movies that I love and rewatch quite a bit. Saving Private Ryan, Hot Fuzz, etc. But Office Space I will always sit down and enjoy if it's on. The Mummy. A 1999 masterpiece with Brendan Fraser. How tired are you? My left eyelid is trembling every now and then. It is driving me insane. Edit. It might be stress instead of fatigue that causes this. Though. _edit 2. Thanks so much for all the advice. For everybody who is experiencing this. Hang in there. It is so annoying. For me. It is probably a combination of too much phone screen staring and emotional stress. Been crying a lot lately. But I will surely look into my magnesium level and caffeine intake and all the other things you all suggested. Thanks. I was taking a piss RN and scared the shit out of myself cause my red shorts were reflecting from my piss stream and I thought I was pissing blood for a sec. It's just a constant cycle of, I just gotta get through this week, without an end in sight. I've been on the grind for almost an entire year now with no breaks, but let's get that degree. I guess. I'm tired of being tired of being tired. I poured water into my hand instead of peanuts. I don't want to die but also don't want to exist at the same time. What is some really messed up things the United States has done that most people don't know about? In 1964, a CIA-backed military coup in Brazil overthrows the democratically elected government of João Goulart. The junta that replaces it will, in the next 2 decades, become one of the most bloodthirsty in history. General Castelo Branco creates Latin America's first death squads, or bands of secret police who hunt down communists and political opponents for torture, interrogation and murder. Later it is revealed that the CIA trained the death squads. Thousands were tortured, and hundreds were killed. Perhaps the greatest dick move in American history was after the Spanish-American War. During the war, the U.S. had made contact with various independence groups in the Philippines and offered them help if they rose against the Spanish government. After the war, instead of giving the Philippines their independence, the U.S. took over, let the Spanish go, and started attacking the independence groups because they were a threat to American rule. It was easy because the U.S. knew who they were and where they were. Imagine if after landing in Normandy and freeing Paris, the U.S. had let the Nazis go, claimed northern France, and started murdering the French resistance. The Western Shoshone land theft in Nevada. The most prominent parts of this took place in the last 50 years. The last big court battle was in 2012. The government basically said that since the Shoshone did not violently fight against the Bureau of Land Management and white ranchers, it meant that they voluntarily gave up the land. ignoring there was a treaty signed. Meanwhile, Native Americans are considered trustees of the government, alongside the mentally unstable minor children. So guess who was their official voice to object? The Secretary of the Interior, who also runs the Bureau of Land Management. It gets worse. The Indian Claims Commission awarded the Shoshone what amounts to less $1.05 per acre for the land. That was voluntary acquiesced. The Shoshone wanted to object. But guess what? They are trustees, and the government who wants this issue to go away is the one who also gets to speak for them. So the Secretary of the Interior accepted the settlement despite the mass objection. Then the Supreme Court several years later essentially said the Shoshone waived the right to bring any case based on this land grab because they had already been paid once the Secretary accepted it in their behalf. The total paid? $26 million. The total land lost? 25 million acres. 40,000 square miles or 101,000 square kilometers. Most of the state of Nevada and large portions of Utah and California. What happened next? 64% of the U.S. total gold production now comes from mines on these lands subsequently leased by the Bureau of Land Management, the largest of which destroyed a 1,000-years-old sacred Shoshone religious, cultural and burial site. This was approved just days after the final court battle. It was built in 2008. This Shoshone land is the second largest gold-producing area in the entire world. Edit. 1. This is not eminent domain. This is an extension of what is known as the doctrine of discovery. The government said that by the time it brought action against the Shoshone had voluntarily ceded the land through gradual encroachment. No other people in the U.S. would be subject to such an outlandish view. 2. The big fight with government started with them charging the Shoshone for trespassing. 3. When the Shoshone disputed the trespassing, the BLM conducted a military-esque raid complete with people armed to the teeth, helicopters and armored cars to take hundreds of cattle and horses from, essentially, 2 old unarmed ladies. It was a show of force to say who is in charge. Over 1,000 animals were taken in each raid. I know of at least 4 raids over 20-plus years. A majority of the animals were killed or injured in the raids or died of starvation while in BLM custody. Those remaining were largely babies who could not survive. 4. Chemical nuclear bombs have been tested on the land. Divine Strike. What would have been the largest American explosive test to date and on Shoshone land, was scheduled with official press release 3 weeks after the United Nations firmly declared the government's actions as in violation of human rights. 5. The United Nations took the unusual step of conducting an emergency expedited review of the situation due to threat of imminent absolute cultural and life destruction. This resulted in a scathing report demanding the U.S. government immediately halt land grabbing. Point number 4 followed. 6. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights found that pretty much every right alleged was grossly violated, including many provisions of the U.S. Constitution. Of course, it was summarily ignored. 7. The Shoshone in this area are not people of great means. This connection to the land is what they have, because someone else asked for additional resources. Here they are. The documentary American Outrage is an older but excellent view from the Shoshone perspective. So is Our Land, Our Life by Oxfam. The proceeding before the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, an international court-like body, has an excellent summary of the facts. My summary cannot do justice to how bad this is. http://herlibrary.um.edu/cases/75-02a.html The U.S. directly trained Chadian torturers and gave tens of millions of dollars per year in military assistance to Chad during the Hissène Habré dictatorship. Survivors said the most common forms of torture were electric shocks, near asphyxia, cigarette burns, and having gas squirted into the eyes. Sometimes, the torturers would place the exhaust pipe of a vehicle in their victim's mouth, then start the engine. Amnesty says, some detainees were placed in a room with decomposing bodies, others suspended by their hands or feet, others bound hand and foot. One man said he thought his brain was going to explode when he was subjected to supplice des baguettes, torture by sticks, when the victim's head is put between sticks joined by rope which are then twisted. Others were left to die from hunger in the diete norae, starvation diet. HRW says that members of any ethnic group seen as being opposed to Mr. Habré were targeted. The Sara in 1984, the Hajarai in 1987, and Chadian Arabs and the Zaghawa in 1989-90. Quote, http://news.bbc co.uk/2/hi/africa/5140818.stm http://news.bbc co.uk/2/hi/africa/5140818.stm FBCLID equals IWAR2RNPXWL MyUPJYXBPMCLCSU7L1 Deci Henry 9 QE_56XW Kungs Do 3 VZBJPDMJ5 IGMs https web.archive.org/editor./2002/justicitochad.htm https www.hrw.org/editorials/2002/justicitochad.htm http www.hartford-hwp.com/archives/35/330.html http www.hartford-hwp.com/archives/35/330.html FBCLID equals IWAR0APS80BC7Y2IGQRVTWRJX3CAFKDQYGZD2RTGL84KXLFDLNRRDAHC. In a lot of southern states even up into the 1970s, black people would be sterilized without consenting or even being informed when they would go under for an unrelated procedure. This was meant to help curb the growing black population. Look up a Mississippi appendectomy. I've mentioned before, but most South American countries should be holding the U.S. accountable for a whole lot. ** 1954 Guatemala ** The CIA overthrows the democratically elected Jacob Arbenz in a military coup. Arbenz is replaced with a series of fascist dictators whose bloodthirsty policies will kill over 100,000 Guatemalans in the next 40 years. None of them were democratically elected. ** 1959 Haiti ** The U.S. military helps Papa Doc Duvalier become dictator of Haiti. Not democratically elected. ** 1961 Ecuador ** The CIA-backed military forces the democratically elected President José Velasco to resign. Vice President Carlos Orozmana replaces him. The CIA fills the now vacant vice presidency with its own man, who was a right-wing nut and was not democratically elected. *** 1963 Dominican Republic *** The CIA overthrows the democratically elected Juan Bosch in a military coup. The CIA installs a repressive, right-wing junta, not democratically elected. *** 1963 Ecuador *** A CIA-backed military coup overthrows President Orozmana, whose independent, not socialist, policies have become unacceptable to Washington. A military junta assumes command, not democratically elected. ** 1964 Brazil ** A CIA-backed military coup overthrows the democratically elected government of João Goulart, puts a military junta in power, not democratically elected. And later it is revealed that the CIA trains the death squads of General Castelo Branco, who was one of the fascist dictators U.S. puts in power. ** 1965 Dominican Republic ** A popular rebellion breaks out, promising to reinstall Juan Bosch as the country's elected leader. The revolution is crushed when U.S. Marines land to uphold the military regime by force. The CIA directs everything behind the scenes, openly protect fascist dictator that they had put in power against the wishes of the people. ** 1971 Bolivia ** After half a decade of CIA-inspired political turmoil, a CIA-backed military coup overthrows the leftist president Juan Torres. In the next 2 years, dictator Hugo Banzer will have over 2,000 political opponents arrested without trial, then tortured, raped and executed. The dictator is not democratically elected either. ** 1973 Chile ** The CIA overthrows and assassinates Salvador Allende, Latin America's first democratically elected socialist leader. The CIA replaces Allende with General Augusto Pinochet, who will torture and murder thousands of his own countrymen in a crackdown on labor leaders and the political left, not democratically elected. ** Between 1973 and 1986 there are many different attempts to put fascist dictators in El Salvador, Honduras and Nicaragua, but they mainly fail and just leads to civil war without U.S. getting their fascist puppet governments. ** 1986 Haiti ** Rising popular revolt in Haiti means that, Baby Doc, Duvalier will remain president for life, only if he has a short one. The U.S., which hates instability in a puppet country, flies the despotic Duvalier to the south of France for a comfortable retirement. The CIA then rigs the upcoming elections in favor of another right-wing military strongman. However, violence keeps the country in political turmoil for another 4 years. The CIA tries to strengthen the military by creating the National Intelligence Service, SIN, which suppresses popular revolt through torture and assassination. This does not happen by popular demand or democratic elections. ** 1989 Panama ** The U.S. invades Panama to overthrow a dictator of its own making, General Manuel Noriega. Noriega has been on the CIA's payroll since 1966, and has been transporting drugs with the CIA's knowledge since 1972. By the late 80s, Noriega's growing independence and intransigence have angered Washington. So out he goes. Noriega was not democratically elected and his removal was not done by democratic means either. Just U.S. being U.S. ** 1990 Haiti ** competing against 10 comparatively wealthy candidates. Leftist priest Jean-Bertrand Aristide captures 68% of the vote. After only 8 months in power, However, the CIA-backed military deposes him and put fascist dictators to rule Haiti. Not democratically elected. *** 2002 Venezuela *** The CIA attempts to overthrow the democratically elected government of Venezuela. America attempted to put military dictators in power. However, the coup soon unravels when thousands of anti-coup protesters surround the presidential palace, demanding Hugo Chávez's reinstatement. ***, and this is only what the CIA admits to. They probably have done a lot worse things than that. Most dictators in the world are in power because of American gov. backing. Africa and Asia is also full of brutal dictators that are in power because America gave them guns and help. And many civil wars have started because America removed democratically elected leaders and wanted to put their military dictators in power. The Civil War of Liberia is an example. ***. Edit. Spelling is hard.
Subscribe, my brothers.